Hello and welcome to class. My name is Nora. This is week 1 of our Journey to Handstand series. This is a 4-week series focusing on the skills you need to get more comfortable upside down. In today's class, we'll start with the very basics for learning to handstand, starting with how to breathe in handstand, how to differentiate the movement of different parts of the torso, warming up both your wrists and your shoulders, as well as releasing wrists at the end of practice. We'll also focus on how to find the handstand shape in the body. We'll use the wall. We'll also practice kicking up and falling down as well. Falling out of a handstand is a very important skill. So all of that stuff will be covered in today's class. We're going to do a little bit of targeted warm-up for breath, shoulders, wrists. We'll do a little bit of flow, do a little bit of core work, and then we will move into working with handstand. If you've never done a handstand before, if you've never gotten upside down, that's okay. This is the place to start. So for today's class, we will need 2 blocks and we will need use of a wall. If you're working with white walls like I am and you don't want to get them dirty, you might consider putting clean socks on your feet before we kick up, so that way you're not leaving marks behind after practice. When you're ready, go ahead and start the playlist and we'll meet together on the mat. Let's begin on the mat laying down in Shavasana. Take a moment to let your back body arrive fully on the earth. Notice how you're feeling today, what you're bringing to this space. And remember that both on the mat and in life, we are all doing the best we can with the skills and the energy we have available to us at any given moment. We're going to start to deepen the breath, but we're going to think about breathing very specifically today. So let's take the hands on the belly, fingertips pointing towards the groin, palms are framing your belly button. Get empty, push all of your air out to draw the navel down towards the floor. And with a big breath in, puff up the skin around your belly button, breathing low into the belly. And empty out. 2 more, just like that, just breathing into the belly. Inhale, make your palms rise towards the sky. And empty. 1 more time, big breath into the belly. Big breath out. Next, take your hands up to your rib cage, fingertips pointing in towards each other. With this breath in, we fill the belly just as we did before, but then let the ribs widen, pushing into your palms. Exhale, provide a little bit of pressure with the palms, close your rib cage down, and then empty out the belly of air. Same thing, 2 more times. Inhale into the belly. Inhale into the ribs, breathe wide. Exhale, close the rib cage down as you empty out, and then the belly empties of air. 1 more, just like that. Breathe into the belly. Breathe into the ribs. Exhale, empty out the ribs. Empty out the belly. Beautiful. Hands come up onto the chest, fingertips pointing towards your neck. Same breath, but this time we add the chest. Inhale into your belly. Inhale into your ribs. Inhale up into the chest. Hold it full. And we reverse it. Exhale, empty out the chest first. Then the ribs. Then the belly. Beautiful. 2 more like that. Inhale, fill the belly. Inhale to the ribs. Inhale to the chest. Hold. Exhale, empty chest, empty ribs, empty belly. Last time, 3-part breath. Inhale to belly, inhale to ribs, inhale to chest. Empty out, chest, ribs, belly. Nice. So with your next inhale, take a full body stretch, lengthen out. Exhale, pull your knees into your chest, give yourself a little squeeze. And start to rock and roll the spine, taking maybe 3 or 4 rocks, moving energy up and down the length of your spinal column. So that 3-part breath that we did, that's mostly to help us learn how to differentiate our separate parts of the torso, right? Our lower belly, our ribs, and our chest. Let's come to a comfortable seat, either cross-legged or sitting up on the heels. And we'll start to warm up the shoulders. So stretch your arms out in front of you. Pull the fingertips back towards your wrist like your hands are on an imaginary wall in front of you. I'm going to come a little bit closer so you can see the detail here. Take a big breath in. With your exhale, push that imaginary wall away from you, round the upper back, shoulder blades gliding apart. With the inhale, take your upper arm bone and plug it back in space into the sockets. Shoulder blades glide together on the back body. Exhale, push that imaginary wall away. Protract the shoulders. They move away from the center of the spine. Inhale, draw the shoulder blades together towards the spine. Couple rounds of this, feeling both the retraction and protraction of the shoulders. I'm going to turn all the way around so you have a better view of what's going on in the upper back. Exhale to push the wall away, shoulder blades away from each other. And inhale, pull the shoulder blades together on the back body. Exhale, protraction. Inhale, retraction. Take one more round. Exhale to push. Plug the upper arm bones back. Inhale. Lovely. Bring your hands down to the mat and find tabletop. We're going to do that same motion, but we'll do it with our hands on the mat this time. Take a big breath in. Exhale, push the floor away. Drive the palms down. Lift the upper back to the sky. Shoulder blades spread wide. Inhale, let the chest sink. Let the shoulder blades rise up towards the ears, and then squeeze the shoulder blades into the center of the spine like there's a grape that you're trying to squish. Exhale, push the floor away. Upper back rises like a loaf of bread. Inhale, chest sinks. Shoulder blades squeeze together. Retraction. Exhale, push and protract. Inhale, retract. Chest sinks. Shoulder blades together. Exhale, shoulder blades apart. Floor pushed away from you. 2 more rounds. Inhale. And exhale. These are called scapular push-ups, and then they're the number one thing I recommend for you to strengthen your upper back. So do maybe 10 rounds of these every couple of days. Whenever you get on your mat, doing just a couple of these will really strengthen the shoulders in a short amount of time. Last round right here. Inhale, drop the chest. Shoulders shrug up to the ears. Shoulder blades hug together on the back body. Exhale, press and round. Beautiful. Gently release and sit back to the heels. Let's warm up the wrists. So to warm the wrists today, we're going to start with flashlights. Stretch your arms all the way overhead. Curl your fingertips in to make fists. As you exhale, flick water off of your fingertips. And you want to feel some friction between your fingertips and your palms, almost like you're striking a match here, right? If this is too much on the shoulders, hands come down in front of you. But you want to resist the ability of your fingertips to spring open. You'll start to feel a burning sensation in the wrists and the forearms. That means you're doing it right. We want those muscles warmed up and firing before we start to put weight on them getting upside down. We're here for another 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Shake that out. Let that go. All right. Come down to the mat. You're going to bring the palms to turn up, the fingertips to turn in towards each other. I'll face you so you can see. Okay, we're stretching out the backs of the wrist here, a little bit of rocking side to side. If you want more weight in the hands, you can lean further forward, stacking your shoulders over the wrists, but be careful not to overdo it. A little goes a long way here. Curl your fingertips in, try to make fists. It's not going to work very well, but it's going to stretch the backs of the wrist a little bit more. And then we'll come up onto our first knuckles, the thumbs outside of the fists. Keep your shoulders stacked over your wrists. Very slowly uncurl the hands, come back to flat. Curl the fingertips in, we rise up to fist, and exhale to flat. Couple of rounds, nice and slow and controlled. Fists and flat. Fists and flat. One more. Fists and flat. Good. From here, flip your palms up. Wrists should be feeling a little bit different now, planted on the earth than they did before. All right, from here, let's reach for our blocks. We're going to start to stretch out the shoulders a little bit more. So you'll take 2 blocks. You'll take them on their lowest setting at the top of your mat, about shoulder width apart. Come to your knees. Place your elbows about halfway up the blocks. About halfway up the blocks. You'll bring the palms to connect. If this is feeling too wide, bring the blocks closer together. Make sure that it feels like your arms and shoulders will be well supported here. So you're not letting the elbows splay wide and they don't feel too narrow and closed in. From here, we walk the knees back in space. Sit your hips back to your heels and let the forehead rest against the earth. Big stretch for the triceps and for the armpits. In handstand, we will have the arms overhead, and that requires a huge opening for the front and back of the shoulders. So we're just starting to warm that space up as well. If this doesn't feel like it's stretching anything, you can always change your blocks and put them on the medium setting. Same setup here, elbows plant, palms together, drop the head down, let the chest sink towards the earth. We have 3 deep breaths. Inhale into the space between your shoulder blades. Exhale, let the head and chest drop heavy. 2 more. One more. To come out of this, release your hands, drive the elbows down, lift your head, neck, and shoulders up. Hands on the blocks, press yourself back up to tabletop, and we'll move those blocks off to the side for a while. All right, let's continue to warm up the shoulders. We're going to use that same action of the shoulders, that same opening of the armpits and the tricep. We're going to add a little bit of weight, a little bit of strengthening for the shoulders. So let's bring the forearms down like you're going to do forearm plank. You'll plant the palms on the earth, tuck the toes, and lift your hips up for Dolphin Pose. Heels can be off the floor, knees can be bent. We're not so worried about how the lower body is looking today. We're really trying to focus on upper body. So push your palms down, push your wrists down, drive the elbows down. Keep lifting your chest and your chin away from the floor. As you're pushing down, also drive the elbows forward towards the top of the mat to send the chest back towards your upper thighs. Big breath in. Big sigh out. Notice if you're sinking into your shoulders, keep lifting up and out. Final breath in, fill up. Exhale, get empty. Drop your knees down, rest in child's pose for a moment. Forehead to the mat, hips to the heels. Take a deep breath in through the nose. And a deep breath out. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Exhale, tuck your toes and find our first downward facing dog. Spread all 10 fingers wide. Push through the palms to send the chest up and back towards the thighs. And put a little bend in your knees so that the tailbone can lift up and back as high as it possibly can. Finding more length in the spine here than length in the legs. Take a full breath in. Full breath out. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward towards your hands. Exhale, bend your knees, step the feet up behind the wrists, bringing the big toes to touch. Inhale, find a halfway lift, stretch the heart out, lengthening out of your low back. Exhale, fold down, maybe a little bend in the knees since we're just warming up. Inhale, reach and rise to standing, finding mountain pose. And then we're going to start to work on the handstand shape in this mountain pose. So take your big toes together, hug the inner thighs together, and then squeeze the glutes. Right here, my glute is relaxed, right? I'm just chilling. Squeeze the glutes, push your brain forward slightly so this whole lower body feels like it's turned on and activated. In addition to this, let's pick up the toes so that you feel your kneecaps rise and your quadriceps turn on. And if you're like, I can't tell if these things are turned on, give them a little slap. Are the thighs firm? Are the glutes firm? If things are jiggly, you're not engaging them enough. Lift the toes, push your hips forward with the strength of the glutes hugging in towards each other. And then let's talk about what's going on in the torso because this relates to the breath work that we did. So the navel is drawing in. Think about when you emptied out of breath after expanding the belly, navel's drawing in. Bring your hands onto your rib cage like we did when we were doing the breath work. Instead of letting the ribs flare wide open and push out into your hands, close the rib cage down when we were emptying out of air. Yeah. And then lift your chest up. You can even place a hand on the chest and think about lifting the chest up towards your hands. Nice. Stretch the arms up overhead. Flex your hands like you're standing on the ceiling. You're in a handstand shape already. Take a big breath in, push the sky away. Exhale, pull the navel in, pull your ribs down and together. With your inhale, can you make your upper back broader? Exhale, hold, inner thighs squeezing, glutes squeezing still, toes lifted. Take one more breath in. Exhale, fold forward, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant your palms, step back to plank pose. In plank pose, hold for the breath in, lifting the front body away from the floor. Exhale, we lower all the way down, and we're going to find our handstand shape laying on the earth here as well. This time, point your toes, hug the inner thighs together, squeeze your glutes, trying to push your pubic bone down into the earth. This is relaxed. This is engaged. Notice that tilt. The tailbone draws down towards your heels. From here, stretch the arms forward in front of you, flexing the palms like there's an imaginary wall in front of you. You're pushing that wall away. Chin can rest on the mat if you like. Imagine that you're looking towards the floor. And then let's talk about what's going on at the center of the body. Lift your navel up and in. Can you lift it up so much into the body that there's space? Your pubic bone presses down, but your low belly is lifted away from the floor. Your chest pushes down, but that low belly is hollowed out. Take a big breath in. Big breath out, navel in, ribs knit together. Inner thighs hugging into the center line. Take another breath in, push the floor away. Navel lifts away from the floor, but pubic bone and chest push down. Final breath right here. Exhale, hold, and relax. Take your hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, rise up to tabletop. Exhale, back to downward facing dog. We're going to move through that version of sun salutation a couple of times, getting the shape in our bodies. Take a breath in and let it go. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step to the top, feet together. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to the sky, reach up. Exhale, flex the palms, lift your toes. Inhale, push the sky away, lengthening up, feeling the length of your entire spine. Exhale, squeeze your glutes, squeeze the inner thighs, pull your navel into your spine. Take a breath, push the sky away. Ribs pull down. Final breath like this, holding the shape, feeling the whole body engaged. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank, lower all the way down to the earth. Stretch your arms forward, flex the palms, point your toes. Breathe in, push that imaginary wall in front of you away. Exhale, squeeze the glutes. Pubic bone presses down. Navel lifts into the spine. Breathe across your upper back. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath in. Lengthen from the heels of your hands to the toes. Hold for the exhale. Navel in. Lift it away from the floor. Relax. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, rise up, tabletop. Exhale, tuck the toes, downward facing dog. Breathe in. Breathe out. Last time through, inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step, step, feet together, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise to the sky. Exhale, lift your toes, flex your hands. Inhale, look up, reach up through the palms. Navel into the spine, ribs knit together. Breathe in, push the sky away, lengthen. Glutes squeeze, inner thighs hug. Final breath right here. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, plank, lower to the earth. Stretch the arms out in front of you, flex your palms. Exhale, lift the navel away from the floor as the glutes squeeze and the pubic bone presses down. Holding this full body engagement, 2 more breaths. Final breath in. Hold till you're empty. Remember that making this shape standing and laying on the earth makes it easier to find when we're upside down and disoriented. Release when you're empty. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, take it back, downward facing dog. Breathe in. And breathe out. Inhale, lift your heels, lift your hips, look forward. Exhale, bend the knees, step to the top of the mat. At the top of the mat, sit all the way down and lay yourself back on the floor. We're going to do a little bit of core work to make sure that we're really utilizing this midsection as much as we can. So we're making our jumps and our kick-ups and our handstands more efficient. Take a big breath in through the nose. Exhale, pull the navel down, lift head, neck, and chest up off the floor. Stretch your arms forward in space. This mat is dirty. All right, arms forward in space. Soles of the feet are firmly on the earth. Inner thighs are hugging together lightly. We wobble from side to side, tapping heel and heel, heel and heel. So this is both warming up our upper core muscles like a traditional sit-up would, but it's also engaging our obliques to a greater degree than a traditional sit-up would. Keep the breath flowing, the low back grounded on the earth. Inner thighs hug together, lower body stays stable so that the upper body can move freely. We're here for another 8 each side. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Release, relax. Take a big breath in. Big breath out. All right, take your arms out to the sides of your mat, palms turned down. Pull the toes up towards the sky, but a light bend in the knees. Take a big breath in. With the exhale, push your palms down, contract the navel, lift your toes to the sky. And then inhale, toes hover just above the earth, knees stay bent. Exhale, we lift. So this is starting to work our lower core. A little bit more. Make that breath sharp. So as you're exhaling through the mouth, you're pulling the navel down, you're lifting the hips up. And then see if you can control that lowering of the hips back to the earth. So you're not just slamming down, but you're rolling down the lower back until the hips rest. that space right below the belly button starting to fire up for me? I hope it is for you too. Last 8. 7, palms pressed down. Last 6. Final 5. Last 4. Stick with me for 3, 2, and 1. Relax soles of the feet to the earth. Take a big breath into the belly. And let it go. Okay, one more core exercise. Stretch your legs long on your mat. Take the arms overhead. Take a big breath in, feeling the length of your spine. With the exhale, arms reach up to the sky. We curl all the way up. As you exhale, arms come all the way up over your head. You're sitting up nice and tall. Inhale, stretch the arms forward. Reach through your limbs to slow your descent down. Hands reach overhead at the top of your inhale. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Keep your feet flexed. Drive the heels down into the floor. So these might feel very challenging. That is normal. They're supposed to feel challenging. We are challenging our core here to engage all of the muscles of our core. And one of my favorite teachers, Cassie Ho, you might know her from Blog the Loudies on YouTube. She says that these are the equivalent of doing 6 sit-ups. One of these roll-ups is the equivalent of 6 sit-ups. So that is working pretty darn efficiently. We're here for another 8. Make sure your legs are still active. Breath is still flowing. We have 4 more. Last 2. Last 1. Right here. Make this slow. Lower really, really slow. Reach through your limbs. Navel's drawing back. Reach forward. Reach forward. Fight for more here. Resist your own descent. Lower slow. Lower slow. Lower slow. Nice work. Take a full body stretch. Inhale. If you traveled like I did, you might want to scoot yourself back onto your mat. All right, from here, let's start to work the glutes a little bit, because as we learned in our full body engagement holding that handstand shape, it's also, it's not just the core, it's also the glutes that are working as well. So let's bring left foot to the mat, right leg stays long, flex the foot, and then slide the heel in just an inch or 2 so the knee is lightly bent. Fingertips point up towards the sky, plug your upper arms down into the floor. Take a big breath in. Exhale, push the floor away through both feet, lift your hips up for bridge pose. It's okay if that extended heel slides closer to you. Glutes are engaged, hips are at equal height. Drive down into your front heel. Big breath in. Exhale, pull your left knee into your chest. Ooh, we're forcing that right hamstring to work. Inhale, we lower the hips, we lower left foot to the floor. Exhale, we lift foot and hips at the same time. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. So we're going to start to focus on kicking up in handstand a little bit. And I want you to think about this shape. Think about how strongly your extended leg right now is driving down into the floor. Keep this strength of engagement in mind as we start to get upside down. You want your leg to be this strong when you're kicking up. We have last 2. Last 1. Hold. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Set it down. And we switch. Right foot to the mat. Extend your left heel out. Keep the knee lightly bent. The heel is pressing to the floor. The toes are pulling back towards the shin. Full breath in. Push through both feet. Lift the hips up. Just finding the bridge pose shape. Hips are equal in height. Drive down through your left heel. Full breath in. Exhale. Hover your right foot off the floor, pulling the knee into the chest. Beautiful. Inhale, we set both the foot and hips down. Exhale, we lift hips and foot at the same time. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. One side is going to feel different than the other. That's okay. Keep that in mind. Usually the side that's harder to do here is going to be harder to kick up with. Focus on the strength and engagement through the back of your extended leg. Nice and easy. Keep the breath flowing. Can you find the ease even in the struggle? That's the rule for 2020. Can you find the ease in the struggle of this year? We're here for last 4. Last 3. Final 2. One more. This last one we hold for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Set it down. Relief. Left foot comes to the mat. Take a big breath in. And let it go. Knees into the chest. Start to rock and roll on the spine a couple of times, moving the energy up and down. On your next rock, cross the ankles, plant the palms, roll over the knees. We meet in downward facing dog. Take a big breath in and a big breath out. With your inhale, lift the right leg up and back, thinking about the strength of your extended leg in those bridge pose lifts. Exhale, knee to nose, round the upper back as you pull the knee into the chest, thinking of those scapular push-ups. Push the floor away. Step the right foot through between the palms. In your own time, we rise slow and steady to a high lunge, bringing the chest upright. With your next exhale, hinge the chest forward, sweep the hands back, coming to a power lunge. Your left glute is engaged, the low belly is lifting. Take a big breath in, big breath out. Inhale, reach the arms to the top of the mat, carry the left knee up into the chest, one leg Tadasana. This is the same shape that we were making in our bridge pose just now. So activate your standing leg, squeeze the right glute, draw your navel in, pull this left knee tighter to the chest if you can. Notice if you're sinking into the hips, maybe pushing the hips forward or letting those hips hang out to the side. Right glute squeezes and then push down through the heels. We're not hanging out here. Drive the heel down, grow tall off your standing hip, and then engage the navel. Big breath in, reach the arms up. Big breath out, hold the shape. Try pointing your lifted toe. We're going to make this shape upside down today. Full breath in. Exhale, hands to heart center. Send your left leg back to hover lightly over the earth. Left glute is squeezing now. Left hamstring is squeezing. Take a big breath in. Think about taking your heart forward. Navel in. With the inhale, lift your back leg as you send the chest forward. Very easy tilt to warrior 3. Left leg is super engaged. Exhale, we come back to that hovering position. 2 more. Inhale, left leg lifts as the chest hinges forward. Exhale, lower. How smooth and steady can you make this? One more time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, release. Both feet land at the top of the mat. Inhale, reach the arms up. Find your handstand shape, flexing the palms, squeezing the glutes, lifting low belly. Exhale, fold forward, dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, find plank pose. Lower all the way down to the earth. 1 breath to find your handstand shape on the floor. Push the palms away. Point your toes. Lift the low belly. Inhale. Exhale, get empty. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Other side, inhale, left leg lifts. Heel pushes away. Think about driving into an imaginary floor up above you. Exhale, knee to nose. Think of scapular push-ups as you dome the upper back. Breathe in, push the floor away. Step the left foot through. Inhale, we rise slow and steady, high lunge. Exhale, we find power lunge. Hinge the chest forward over your front thigh. Hands sweep back, shoulder blades squeeze together. Low belly lifting, right glute squeezing. Take a big breath in. Keep firming the midsection of the body. Inhale, arms reach to the top of the mat. Right knee pulls into the chest. One leg Tadasana. Okay, notice where you are here. Is your left hip sinking over to the left side, or are you letting your chest fall over to the right? Squeeze your left glute in. And then notice if you're letting your hips slide forward and you're kind of sitting in your low back. If that's the case, draw the navel in. Pull the right knee tighter to the chest. Point your toes, reach the arms up. Big breath in. Big breath out. Standing leg is so strong, so engaged. Final breath right here. Exhale, hands to heart center. Hover the right leg to the back of the mat. Now right glute is squeezing. Right hamstring is engaged. If you need to, smack that right glute. Make sure it's not jiggly. Make sure it's firm. Inhale, start to elevate the right leg as you take the chest further forward into warrior three. Exhale, slowly come back to hover. Two more like that. Inhale, elevate the leg, lean forward. Exhale, navel in. Return to hover. Last time. Inhale, lift. Exhale, hover. Right foot lands next to left. Inhale, reach the arms up. Find handstand shape. Flex the palms. Squeeze the glutes. Low belly lift. Exhale, dive down. Inhale, halfway. Exhale, plant the palms. Step back, lower all the way to the earth. With the inhale, stretch the arms forward. Point your toes. Take a breath in. Lift the belly away from the floor. Squeeze your glutes, pubic bone down, chest pressing down. As you're empty, release. Hands underneath the shoulders. Inhale, tabletop. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in. And a full breath out. Drop your knees. Sit back on your heels. We're going to move to some wall work from here. And we're going to actually start to get upside down into handstand. Now, don't get nervous. You are well prepared for everything we're going to do today. And you'll always have the wall to support you. We're going to talk about ways to keep yourself safe, especially falling out, because that is a significant skill to have when we're talking about getting upside down. You got to know your exit plan. You got to have an exit strategy. So let's find a wall. I'm going to be working with this wall right here. We're actually going to start by sitting at the wall. So take your booty, your back body up against the wall. Stretch your legs out long, finding Dandasana staff pose here. So back body's up against the wall. Flex your feet. Notice where your feet are. We're going to be making an L shape at the wall. We're going to take this whole shape. We're going to flip it upside down. We're going to put our hands where our feet are and our feet where our head are. Feet where our head is. Even I'm confused by this. So let's just get into it. Notice where your feet are. Make a mark. Put something there. You're going to plant your palms there. That's where our palms are going to be. We're measuring the distance of our legs. So I kept an eye on where my feet were. I'm going to plant my hands there, shoulder width apart, all 10 fingers spread as wide as they will go. Spread them out. From here, you'll lift the hips up. You're going to look back towards the wall. You're going to plant one foot on the wall and then the other. And then the other one steps up and the other one steps up. First time upside down today, you're going to push the floor away through the palms like we've been doing all day. Start to push the wall away through your feet, straightening the legs. And you want to make sure that the feet are about hip height. Oftentimes we like to be too low or too high. Try to find that sweet spot where it feels like your thighs are going directly out from the height of your hips. Take a big breath in. Pull your navel in and your ribs down. Now, if you're new to handstand, you might be tired already. That's normal. So we're going to talk about an exit strategy. We're going to talk about falling out. You're going to bend your knees here. You're going to kick the wall away, and you're going to swing your legs over to the left. That's it. That's how you fall out of this. We're going to do that a bunch of times. You get really comfortable falling out. So notice where your hands were. Place them there again. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to spread all 10 fingers wide, push the floor away through the palms, walk the feet up, coming up into an L-shaped handstand. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees lightly, push the floor away, let the feet fall to the right. And we land. It's okay if you land kind of funky. It's okay if there's kind of a cartwheel out of it. That's normal. That's okay. Let's keep doing it. We got 3 more each side. Plant your palms, all 10 fingers spread wide. Walk the hands up, finding L shape. Take a big breath in. Exhale, bend the knees, push the wall away, fall to the left. All right, other side. Plant the palms, walk the feet up, find L shape, inhale. Exhale, kick the wall away, feet fall to the right. Palms plant, walk up. L handstand, take a big breath. Exhale, push the wall away, fall left. Beautiful. Let's take another one to the right and then one more each side. Beautiful. You've got 2 more in your own time. I'm just going to come chat at you for a moment. So the reason that it's so important to know how to fall, you're going to fall a lot. That's part of getting upside down. That's part of doing handstand. So knowing how you're going to get out safely will take some of the risk away. It'll make it a little bit less precious, a little bit less scary. So that's why we're focusing on falling right away, right out of the gate. That's what we're doing. As soon as we get upside down, we're learning how to fall. That is what this is a masterclass in, basically. Learning how to handstand is really learning how to fall. All right. If you've taken your other 2 attempts at the kicking out and dropping out of the handstand, great, lovely. If you were taking a rest, that's cool. We're going to move on. Okay. From here, we're going to talk about finding our shape at the wall. We're going to use the wall like we used the floor. So we're going to start in our L handstand. We're going to walk the hands back towards the wall and let our feet slide up the wall. And then using the wall, we're going to adjust. How are the hips doing? How's the core doing? What's going on with the chest? We're going to do all that. So let us start how we started last time. If you need to re-measure where your hands need to go for an L handstand, go ahead and do that. If you know where you're going, plant the palms shoulder width apart, all 10 fingers spread wide. Walk your feet back, start to walk the feet up the wall, coming up into the L handstand, shoulder stack over wrists. This might be it today. If you don't feel like going any further than this, that's okay. You're just holding here, focusing on drawing the navel in and the ribs down. If you're ready for more, start to walk your feet up a little bit higher as you begin to walk the hands back towards the wall. This is going to look messy. It's going to be a little bit funky. That's okay. Bring your hands close to the wall. You want your hands to be maybe 4 inches out from the wall. Keep your gaze steady between the palms. Point the toes when we start to find the shape. Hug your inner thighs together. Squeeze your glutes. Push your pubic bone towards the wall, making your low back long. Draw the navel in. Pull your rib cage down. Chest and pubic bone are pushing into the wall. Your low belly is pulled away from the wall. We're just holding this shape. We're holding here for 10. Breathe. 9. 8. Keep pushing the floor away for 7. For 6. 5. Last 4. You're on the back half. Navel in. Squeeze the glutes. Keep pushing the thighs and the groin forward for 2. And 1. From here, push away through the feet. Let your hips fall to the left or to the right. Woo! Your shoulders and your arms might be a little bit tired. Roll them out, shake it off. I like to give a little bit of a dance after a handstand hold. Let everything be loose. Shake it out. There's no right or wrong. And if you're feeling this vibe that I've got going on right now, that is normal. Getting upside down can bring a lot of empowerment, a lot of feelings of energy and excitement because it's different. We're changing her whole perspective. So if you're feeling that vibe, great, awesome. We're going to do a little bit more work and we're going to wind things down. If your wrists are feeling tired, feel free to take breaks. We're going to talk about a release for them at the end. So we're going to talk about an entrance to handstand, and I want you to think about that shape that we were holding because we're aiming to put that shape into the body as soon as we kick up. You can do this at the wall. If you're comfortable away from the wall, you can also do it in the middle of your mat. So the shape that we made today in one leg Tadasana, we're going to do that here. For this, if you're doing it at the wall, you're going to bring your hands close, fingertips within 3 to 4 inches of the wall. Lift your hips up. All 10 fingers spread wide, hands shoulder width apart. From here, bring your feet close enough that it feels like you're in a pretty decent forward fold. And then elevate your right leg like you're doing 3-legged dog.
Think about your heel driving towards the sky, like your heel was driving down into the floor in those bridge pose lifts that we did. Elevate your bottom heel. Take a big breath in. Maybe your crown of your head is pushing into the wall here. That's okay. You can also move the hands a little bit further away from the wall if that's happening. Big breath in through the nose. Exhale, drive that right heel towards the sky, and then hug the left knee into the glute. We're finding a stag handstand shape. And I want you to think one leg Tadasana as you're doing this. So this lifted leg, your right leg is really strong as it kicks up to the sky. This left knee is pulling into the chest, encouraging your navel to draw in and your ribs to pull down. Maybe this top heel hits the wall, and then you can start to play with gently letting yourself come away from the wall and finding that balance. If you're feeling like, oh my God, I'm tired, my wrists are dying, take a break, roll the wrists out, take a moment. That stretch that we did at the beginning can be really nice here for the wrists. So use this when you need it. I'm going to take a couple more hops on the right leg. You're welcome to join me, and then we'll move to the left side. So all 10 fingers spread wide, hands shoulder width, push the floor away. Shoulder blades rising up towards your ears. Inhale, send the right leg back. Elevate your bottom heel. With the exhale, we drive the right heel towards the sky. That left heel comes in towards the glute as quickly as possible. And then start to think about drawing the ribs down, pulling the low belly in. Squeeze your right glute. One more hop right here on this right side. Activate your right leg. Right glute squeezing. Full breath. Exhale, we come right back down. Release. Take a moment. Roll out the wrists. Dance it out. And the reason we're doing so many kick-ups, the reason we're finding the shape a bunch, is that we have to program this shape into the body in different shapes at different times to start to get it, even when we're upside down. So that's what we're doing. When you're done with your rest, we're going to take the left side. This side is going to be different than the other one, no matter what. It might be easier, it might be harder, it might just feel weird. That's okay. Let it be a separate experience from what you felt on the other side. So, fingers about 3 to 4 inches away from the wall. Come to a forward fold position. Inhale, send the left leg back. Really strong left leg. This left glute is already squeezing the left hamstrings, already activated as you're flexing the foot. Elevate your bottom heel. Push the floor away. Right here, activate those shoulders already. Exhale, drive the left heel to the sky. It might touch the wall, it might not. Bottom heel hugs into the glute as quick as possible. But think about making that leg that's kicking up really strong. And I didn't say this on the last side, but keep in mind that we're not jumping with the bottom leg off the floor. You're using this top leg to drive up, and that brings the weight out of the bottom foot. If you get the foot on the wall, push the foot into the wall, gauge the low belly, squeeze the left glute. Maybe you can hover here with that left leg off the wall. Woo! Take a break. If you're feeling good, if you're catching some air, breathe there. Take a little break. We'll do another 3 hops after this rest. Grab sweat towel water if you need it. Not too much water. We don't need a sloshy stomach when we're getting upside down. Let's do 3 more attempts on this other side. So plant your palms. Push the floor away. You're already trying to lift the front body or lift your shoulders up away from the floor. Extend the left leg back, flex the foot, left glute squeezing. Inhale, elevate your bottom heel. Exhale, drive the left heel to the sky. Right knee comes into the chest. Maybe finding a little bit of balance and then allowing yourself to come out. Kicking up with the left leg, drive up. Keep that leg active, reaching towards the sky. Pushing the sky away as your standing leg push the floor away in one leg Tadasana. Woo. Careful of kicking up too hard and making a hole in your drywall. I've seen it happen in yoga studios, and no, I did not tell the management. One more big breath in. Drive the left heel high. Maybe catching the air time. Think about drawing pubic bone up towards your chin. Ribs down, navel in, and we come out. Whew. All right, after all of that hard work on the wrists, let's talk about releasing the wrist. So we're going to come back onto the mat. Find a forward fold, but bend your knees so that your torso is resting on your thighs. Insert your hands underneath your feet. Toes come up to the wrist creases. Woo. Take a big breath in. Find a halfway lift, keeping those knees bent. Stretching the heart out. Exhale, bend your elbows as you lift your sitting bones up, not worrying about straightening the legs. And I can stay bent here. All right, elbows bend out to the sides, but then curl them back towards your knees in little half circles, or back towards your shins rather, which should be a big opening for the wrists. Two more deep breaths. One more deep breath. Let it go. Inhale, find a halfway lift. Gently release the feet. From here, bend your knees and sit down. If you are feeling tired, if you are feeling like I'm done, that's fine. You're going to come to a restorative rest. Soles of the feet as wide as the mat. Knees touch. One hand to your heart, one hand to your belly. Just chilling here. If you're looking for a little bit more handstand work, you are welcome to take those stag handstand hops into the middle of the room. Keep in mind that you're going to have to focus on using those falling skills a little bit more, right? So if you come up and you don't catch it, your feet might not come down directly behind you. You might need to fall to one side. Just keep that in mind. It can be a little bit scarier when you're just starting out, when you're just learning how to fall out of handstand. But how comfortable you are with falling out will start to translate to how comfortable you are handstanding in the middle of the room. So even if you're like, I don't feel like I can leave the wall right now, that's okay. Just practice falling out from the wall. It'll get easier to fall out in the middle of the room. And then you can start to handstand in the middle of the room, and that's really exciting. So wherever you are, even if you're taking a couple more handstand hops, make sure you're breathing deep. Remember that whatever you were able to do today or weren't able to do today, you were trying your best with what you had. Give yourself a break. It is a hard thing to change our entire perspective in 1 hour-long class. And that's essentially what handstanding is. Learning to change our entire perspective. We've spent all of our lives upright, and now we're asking ourselves to get upside down. It's not going to happen in one class. It's not going to happen in 3 classes. It's an ongoing journey. And when we show up for this journey, we just show up with the skills that we have. We work on the things we can work on, and then we allow ourselves to rest. If there is something else that you need for your practice to feel complete, maybe a supine twist or a happy baby or shoulder stand, take it there. Otherwise, begin to transition into your Shavasana. This won't be a very long Shavasana.
So really let yourself rest back against the earth. We spent a lot of time today lifting ourselves up away from the earth in so many different ways. Let the earth hold and cradle you in this final resting pose. Take a deep breath in through your nose. And sigh out through your mouth. Start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Roll your wrists and your ankles. And with a full breath in, reach the arms overhead. Full body stretch. Lengthen fingertips to toe tips. Exhale, pull the knees into your chest. And roll to one side. Rest for a moment on your side. And without straining head, neck, or shoulders, press into your palms to come up to a comfortable seat. Drag the hands, pull the hands into heart center, and we end with a moment of gratitude. And today we're just grateful for this body. Grateful that it gives us the ability to try new things, to get creative, to play, to get upside down. Inhale, lift the thumbs up to the third eye between the brows. Open your mouth, offer your exhale to the space. And as we bow forward in reverence to each other, together we say, Namaste. Thank you so much for sharing your practice and your presence with me today. I hope you learned something new. I hope you surprised yourself. I hope you got playful and found some energy that you weren't expecting in the course of this class. Look out for week 2. We're going to be building on the same skills that we worked on in today's class, as well as adding some new ones, focusing on new shapes in handstand, new entrances, and building our overall strength and endurance. Until we meet on the mat again soon, From my heart to yours, namaste.